everyone, Dark Ramos here with the Volume Profile Nerd, here to do my trade review for Wednesday, June 7th, 2023. And yeah, today was a good day. Just played with the micros given the day that I had yesterday. I wanted to really dial it back. I didn't play the minis at all today, even though there were a few spots where I kind of liked a few trades, but I just wanted to get back into the habit of just playing with micros today and just going with that and getting back into the swing of things after kind of yesterday and so just decided to play with micros. But today was a pretty bearish day. I did outline the scenario where sellers get to this POC down here, and that scenario played out. We actually got to the value area low and are at the value area low here. I did have a trade early in the morning. It was pretty much at the high of day, but didn't think we'd get a like $300 point pullback. And so it's tough, it's tough like not holding for a bigger move. And I guess I'm not in it for that, which is fine. I think for me, it's just recognizing that we could have such a big move and then maybe looking for plays based on that. But the other thing is all sectors weren't at their low of the day. It was just tech. Tech was the weakest sector. And we can see from the ratio chart, it was just way weaker. XLF and XLV were actually like more sideways. No, XLF was, was actually hitting new highs while an XLV was sideways. IWM was mostly sideways, so it was mostly just tech pulling back today. And it was Amazon and NQ were the weakest tech names. Amazon was the weakest tech name today, down 4.25%. So could have read that a bit better, but overall still was a green day. So just gonna go with that and go with that. And what am I trying to say? I don't know, but we'll take the green day. But on the hourlies, we got back into this range, got to the value area low, kind of oscillated here between this range. We held the low of this range, bounced, couldn't get back above into this range. There was actually a nice short here that I wasn't at the computer for, but we rejected from here, headed back to the value area high here. We oscillated, couldn't get back to this value area high, then broke into this range. And I'm thinking sellers want this POC here at 14,291.50. All right, so with that said, I'll go over the trades that I took today. So on the morning, one sec. All right, so let me go into the trades and so my first trade, it was actually a loss. I just entered too early. So we got a big move up first thing. And let me see here. Where are we on the hourlies? Yeah, this play, this was mostly based on developing value. And I just thought, we got a big run up, but maybe we do pull back to, let's say, the regular trading hours high. And maybe we don't find acceptance back into this hourly range up here. And so I was just playing, off developing value, just looking at the nuances of it. And so we had this sideways range here that, I drew up this entire thing. And then we got below the value area low. We oscillated above, couldn't get above, broke below, got above, couldn't get above. And so once we broke below, I looked for the sell off of here, off the value area low of this developing value, took the short here. And honestly, I think I could have been paying attention a bit better, because once we got back into it, we're at this point, we're a little bit back into it, not convincingly rejecting. I shouldn't have taken the short, but entered short here, got stopped out here. And then after, so this is another nuance that I'm observing with volume profile and developing value and just ranges in general. if we can't even get to the other side of value, so here we bounced, we couldn't even get to the value area high here, that is a signal to be on alert, to see if sellers, right, like if sellers break below the POC here before buyers can get to the value area high. To me, that's a good go signal that buyers are weakening, and sellers could potentially be looking for at least, a sell off the POC to get to the value area low. And if they do that, then I can get pretty close to risk free, right? Just looking for that initial play. So yeah, that's what I did on my second play. So I took a loss here, but then I saw this. We couldn't get to the value area high of developing value, got below the POC, and then I looked for the sell off the POC here and just grabbed the sell. I think I marketed it in. And then got risk free here, and I sold 3 contracts here because I didn't know if we'd hold this value area low. And if I draw it up, it might be a bit more clear. But it was just something like this, and took the sell off the POC once I saw we couldn't get to the value area high up here. And my target was the regular trading hours high, which I should have just covered here. But I moved my stop. At this point, I moved my stop right above this hourly value area low, because I thought maybe sellers would reject from there, and they did. I just moved my stop too soon and too close, and kind of paid for it. I gave up a few points here by not selling at the regular trading hours high, and moved my stop here and got stopped out, but that's fine. I gave up like maybe 10 points. But then we did lower high, so I could have waited for the lower high to stick my stop here, and that I basically got pretty close to the high of day here, just a few points off from the high of day. And after that, we got like a 300 point move to the downside. So that's the tough thing. I do want to maybe capture one of these big days. It's just a matter of like having the conviction if I'm, risk free, or if I've sold 3 out of 4 contracts, just letting that contract ride, regardless of, if I get stopped out, then I get stopped out. But also knowing when to move my stop. Like after we get the lower high here, that's where I move my stop, not here. Because here we're just getting a bounce. I could move it to the next lower high. So just got to remind myself of that, especially after we get a good pullback here. Just grabbing some water there. But yeah, that was a nice trade. And after this, I did take a few long plays, and let's see. This was a long. Yeah. I kind of went long. I looked for the long here in this area. Let me see. Yeah, I looked for the long here because I thought, buyers held this range here on I think it was the range from Friday, like the sideways range. Yeah, from Friday. And so they held it here, and I thought they might want to get to this value area high. So I was just looking for a long to this value area high here on the hourly at like 14.6, 30-ish. It was like 14.632. I probably would have cut at 14.628. So I was just looking for a few points, and honestly, like the expected value here isn't that great, so I'm not even sure why I'm looking for the long. So I got to focus on expected value, and if the expected value isn't that much, then I might not want to put on the risk. All right, so the way I played this one was we had this range right here. We got above it, got below it, held the value area low, got back above, and then I looked for a play once we got back above, and then we pulled back again, and I got stopped out here. So the takeaway for me on this play is that we haven't convincingly broken above this range yet. We're still kind of around the value area high. So for most conviction, I want a decent bounce to then maybe do that, given the higher time frame context. But here we just barely broke above it, and then we pulled back. So it's a good lesson for me. If anything, once we got back into this range, I could have looked for the sell, got risk free, here, and my stop would have been here, and that would have been fine. So I'm getting a bit more nuanced with the ranges, and it's a really kind of beautiful thing because I'm able to, if I have patience, I'm able to see where buyers are failing and where sellers are failing, and then not making a play right away, but just seeing like, what were buyers trying to do, and were they successful? And same thing, what were sellers trying to do, and were they successful? And this is just based off playing a range. So I might not play, the initial back test because buyers could fail that initial back test. And if we get back into the range, that's good information because now buyers failed to do something and sellers are going to look to step in a bit more. And it's very nuanced and contextual, but it's something I think I'm going to continue to develop. And it's centered around having patience and seeing how price reacts to that range. If nothing clear sets up, like if buyers just go for it, like that's okay too. And maybe I can grab the next higher low or something. But yeah, it's just kind of looking at that nuance. It feels very, kind of like game theory in a way of just like observing, what were buyers trying to do and did they do a good job, and what were sellers trying to do, and if they did a good job. And this is relating it to, having that reference of the range essentially, like this range or any range, daily, hourly, down to the 1 minute and even 5 second here. Okay, so my next play, I did try for the long again, and it was right here. Yeah, so I tried for this long because we were at this hourly value area high, and I thought buyers could try to defend there, and it was at the overnight low, and it was at the value area high of this 5 minute range here. So I thought this could be a good spot for buyers to try and hold. And so I decided to put on the risk. And the other thing is we broke below the overnight low, couldn't find acceptance, broke above, broke below. And I also had this 1 minute range from, let me just check when it was from. Which one was I looking at? Overnight low, right down here. Am I on the right day? Okay. Yeah, it was from, oh, well, it goes way back. No, does it? No. Oh, wait, yeah, that range was from yesterday, yeah. So this range here. So I was using this range for that play as well. From, end of day yesterday. So yeah, I thought that was a good spot after seeing sellers didn't get much follow through below the overnight low, and also using that 1 minute range from yesterday for context. So we held the overnight low and value area low here, broke below, and once we didn't find acceptance and got above the overnight low, I entered here, got risk free near the POC, got risk free just under the POC, which was great. And then I should have left my other contract to the value area high here, but I cut it a little bit too soon above the POC. And then once I saw we kind of oscillated above the POC, didn't find acceptance, I just sold that position here, and it was a decent win. I could have gone short like anywhere in here, but that might be a little bit of chasing, so I didn't want to do that. But enter short as soon as I see we can't find acceptance above it, enter here, and then to get to the other side of value, I think that was a decent play, and maybe leave a runner to see if we get continuation, which we did. Okay, my next play, this was a really nice play. I didn't benefit as much because I moved my stop again, but it was essentially playing off this range here, and looks something like this. So I played off of the POC. So I saw we held the value area high, couldn't get above it, got to the value area low, got to the value area high, couldn't get to the value area high, or couldn't find acceptance above. So once we got below the POC and back tested the POC, I entered short, got risk free here, then sold another contract near the value area low, and then I moved my stop here and got stopped out here. And the reason I moved my stop was because I don't think I had a good reason, to be honest. My stop was here. Yeah, no, I didn't have a great reason to move my stop. If anything, my stop would have been above here, which was pretty much where I entered. So did not have a great reason to move my stop, but I did. And if I was going to move my stop, the place I should have moved it was like right above here, the value area low, which we rejected from, headed to the value area low of this range and bounced from there. So these two ranges were telling a really nice story. And I just thought, yeah, we didn't even get to the value area high yet here. So could have definitely benefited from this trade a bit more. So just got to be, once this trade starts going in my direction, I kind of freak out. Like I think, I'm going to get stopped out. I should try to capitalize as much profit as I can. And what ends up happening is that I end up kind of leaving money on the table because, I, just move my stop or sell too soon. If anything, what I could have done is once we get back into this range, just move my stop here, and I could have netted another 77. Yeah, another 10 points maybe. Like, that's still pretty decent, especially if I'm playing minis, That's a decent amount of points. All right, so after that, we just get this move lower and lower. Oh, that's it. Those were the only trades I took today. Really? That was it? Yeah, that was it. Did I go over this one? I don't think I went over this one here. Maybe I did. Yeah, this one. I went over this one. I don't think I went over this one here. No, did I? Maybe I did. But yeah, essentially this one was playing off of this range here where I saw we broke below it. Once we got back into it and back tested it, I entered long here, got risk free here, and sold another contract near the value area high here, and then got stopped out here. So I'm trying to think, why did I make that play? Yeah, this play was based off of it was based off of us holding this value area low here. And we did get to the value area high, and I thought we'd hold. Let me see here. Yeah, I thought we'd hold again, and then maybe bounce to at least maybe get to here. So I just look for the long around here off this range from Friday, the end of day Friday. But yeah, that was kind of just basing it off this value area low here. Basing it off that and the fact that we had this small range, broke below it, back tested it, and then broke below again, but then got back into it. I looked for the long here. So yeah, those were my trades for today. I think I went over all of them. Yeah, I didn't trade a lot. Maybe that's why I'm a little bit like, did I go over all the trades? But I did. And this one here, I'm pretty sure I went over it. Yeah, we got above. Yeah, I went over this one. Yeah, I think it was this one. This one I didn't go over. But overall, I netted, it was over 50 MNQ points, which again, doesn't seem like a lot on the micros, but 50 points is quite nice. If I'm doing that on the minis, that's really nice. Which I'll get there. I just need to focus on my discipline first and foremost, and that's why I just played with the micros today, because I didn't have much interest in playing with the minis today. There was a beautiful play that did set up, later in the day. I wasn't here for this, but essentially we had this range, and if I draw it up, it looks something like this. And essentially we got above this range, couldn't find acceptance above the regular trading hours low, pulled back, held this range, and then we bounced, and we couldn't even get to this range, but we held pretty much the value area low. Had a nice drop here. This would have been another trade location here, another good one since we sliced through it, got a good amount below, and then we held it and got some nice follow through after that to the downside, or more follow through to the downside. All right, so that was my trading day today. I'll quickly go over sectors in tech. I'm happy with my activity today. It wasn't a lot of activity. Definitely feel like I could have benefited a bit more, but that's how it goes. Discipline is key for me, and that's my main thing. It's like going to practice every day and playing. Yeah, just going to practice every day and just putting in the reps to gain the discipline, which I think is the most important. And I'm getting a lot of discipline talk lately from watching the finals game, the basketball finals, and hearing them talk about discipline to me is just, I can relate it a lot to trading. But yeah, I'll go over sectors in tech. So SPY had a pretty big red day, but didn't even break the low of yesterday. So that's interesting. So consolidation is not officially underway on SPY. Consolidation is definitely underway on QQQ. Really notable pullback. XLF, yeah, nice green day. Or pullback initially, but ended strong. IWM, strong green day. XLE, strong green day. XBI, kind of indecision, but still green. Kind of flat, pretty close to where it opened. XLV, yes, small range, but still red. Daily consolidations underway. We were expecting a lower high, which we're getting here. And we got below this level, and sellers are doing a good job here. We're getting a lower high. Maybe the buyers do have enough space for a higher low. XLU, nice green day. Buyers, I think, want this up here at 67.14. SMH, again, this value area low here on SMH has been a really good guide. We tried multiple times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times to get back into it, and sellers said nope. And we had a nice red day here on SMH, which is notable because that probably helped tech pull back as well. So Apple, let's look at tech. I think tech is pretty red. Big upper wick on Apple, but yeah, I mean, a quick daily lower high on Apple actually. So I think, maybe sellers are looking for more weekly consolidation here, which is notable. Amazon, big red day, daily consolidation underway. And looks like, we could potentially be shaping up weekly consolidation at some point. Or wait, did we? No, we still have to break the low of last week, which is at 119.17. So quite a ways away. But yeah, Netflix didn't break the low of yesterday. So daily consolidation not quite underway as convincingly. But big red day today. Google, daily consolidation underway. Pretty big red day. Microsoft, daily consolidation underway. This was key. I kind of mentioned this on Microsoft. This POC at 335.02, and we did get right to the value area low, pretty much almost to the T at 322.62. So that's a really nice range on Microsoft for sure. And let me just look at how this set up. Like I could have, probably benefited from this, but just kind of a landslide from there. Once we got under the low of yesterday and back tested, I think that could have been the go signal. Yeah, right here. enter here, 332 psychological, putting on maybe 25 cents of risk to make, if the target is that value area low, to make $10. So 25 cents to $10 is 1 to 40. That's a good trade. Yeah. Meta pulling back, daily consolidation underway. Tesla got to this value area high here and pulled back. That's notable. Let me see how this looks on Tesla. Yeah, that's notable. Pulled back, held the value area high, and we had 2.5% move after that. It's not in the snuff at 229 to 223. Yeah, even here to get from this value area high to this POC, that's 2.5%. All right, NVDA. So NVDA, this is notable. Sellers did get back under that 15-minute range that I've been mentioning, and now it's up to sellers to defend it. You can see they're defending it here in pre-market, and it'll be notable if we get back into it, because that'll be buyers proving more, and then buyers should be looking for the other side of value up here. But if sellers can convincingly reject from here, we could be getting more convincingly back into the earnings reaction, which is not what buyers want, right? Like, if sellers tomorrow get convincingly under this range, we are getting back more into the earnings reaction. There's not much support there. So, it could be a nice day for sellers if buyers don't play defense. So this will be key for me tomorrow. Whether we open back, if we open back in it, that means buyers are still a little bit interested. And if we do open back within it, this will still be key, because buyers will still want to defend it. But if sellers get below in regular trading hours and do this, we could be getting more back into the earnings reaction, that gap of the earnings there, and back into the earnings reaction in general. That was my trading day. I did play ES today as well. That's why I felt like I played more names. Okay, so let me go to ES, because I did take a few plays on ES. I took a play on ES off of the overnight low, essentially, and the value area low. And it was 956. And the reason I took it was because I recognized that ES was the stronger sector because of XLF and XLV. So I decided to play ES long. And it was right around here when NQ was oscillating here. And it was at this hourly POC pretty much right here. And pretty much at this hourly POC. And we were holding this range here that I have on NQ, this 5-minute range from back here. So I thought if buyers play defense here, I want to be in ES for the long. And on one entry, I just entered too soon. So this is where I want a bit more screen real estate so I can watch both sectors, because I think it might help with my trade entries. So I'm literally entering ES based off of NQ. So once I see NQ kind of holding, I enter ES long here, and I get stopped out almost to the tick here. But then I think the trade is still valid, so I enter again here, get risk-free here, sell another contract up here, and then I sell my last contract near the value area low of this range. And actually, the reason I sold that contract is because NQ, so I sold that last contract at 10:05. Yeah, right here, because my target for NQ was the value area low of this range. Actually, it was pretty much, once we got to the value area high here, that's when I cut it. No, I see it. Yeah. Sorry for that gurgle there. I don't know what I just did. But my target was this value area low of this 5-minute range from back here. And so once I saw we got there on NQ, I cut the ES long. and we did get a pullback. We did head a little bit higher, but then pulled back most of the day, or a little bit more after that. So yeah, that was a nice trade. This added to my green day, but yeah, I could have done without that first initial loss for sure. And it's just a matter of being able to see both, which at this point I can only see one indice at a time, which is something I'm going to work on to, maybe a bit more screen real estate to see everything. But yeah, that was my trading day. I do like this play using kind of correlation with NQ, and seeing that ES was stronger because of XLF and XLV. XLV going sideways and XLF hitting, getting a bounce and then hitting new highs. At this point, 10 XLF is, let's see what XLF was doing. Yeah, XLF is bouncing here, getting a bounce, and then it got new highs near the end of the day. All right, but NQ was hitting new lows while XLF was, here or around here. All right, so yeah, that was my trading day for today. Or yeah, NQ was just relatively weaker in general, just pulling back more. And yeah, there's the ES divided by NQ. Let's actually look at the ratio chart. Yeah, that's notable. All right, but yeah, I think buyers will just be scouting weekly higher lows on NQ. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the morning prep tomorrow. Thank you.